Here in Hoboken, I bring an exclusive interview with Councilwoman Beth Mason as she discusses her recent trip to Washington, D.C. to discuss the Monarch Project. Councilwoman, appreciate a few minutes here on Hudson County TV. You recently went to Washington, D.C. to represent your constituency here in Hoboken concerning the Monarch Project. Now, for our residents and viewers that aren't familiar with the Monarch Project, could you tell us a little bit more about what it entails?
Yeah, the Monarch Project is currently two 10-story buildings that are planned for the north end of our town that is near the Cove area. And it's out on a pier, which is why it makes it very different than a lot of the development here in town.
Okay, now what have, again, the residents here in the north side of Hoboken been speaking to you about? What are their concerns? What are they really angry about, if anything, about this construction?
Well, there's a number of issues, but given Hurricane Sandy, which is where we're kind of focused now, is that to put two 10-story towers out in the middle of the river after the flooding that took place, and we're being told that, you know, even though we keep saying these are 100-year storms, we have a lot of 100-year storms coming around, why would the government put luxury housing in the middle of harm's way? And so that's really one of the big issues with this project. And that end of town, or in northern end of town, is very densely populated as it is now.
Now, subsequently, have you expressed these concerns to the mayor and the rest of your fellow council members? Because ultimately, you know, these construction projects don't get started or get off the ground without sort of the, you know, the motions that go on within, you know, a town bureaucracy. So, you know, what's been that obstacle that you faced with it so far?
Well, in this particular instance, the mayor and I are on the same page. We are fighting this project right now in the courts. Unfortunately, the planning board did not take action with the project, and unfortunately, because they delayed, it was given to the developer pretty much as of right. So that is being challenged in court right now. So, you know, the city council and the mayor are working together to try to address this project, and it was supposed to be a park and tennis courts and recreation facility for the residents of Hoboken for part of the project in that area from a previous agreement. So we're just trying to ask the developer to honor that agreement.
And right now, where does that stand, again, within, you know, the legal spectrum?
It's in court, where in terms of it, it has not, you know, gone to the full case at the moment. It's, you know, information being collected. It's in appeal. It's in the appellate court, and so that's where it is right now. We'll have to see where it goes.
Councilwoman, is this just another example of perhaps overdevelopment taking place in Hoboken?
I believe it is. I believe it is definitely overdevelopment, has been for some time in that particular area of town. It is also, again, why would you build two 10-story buildings on a pier after the flooding that typically takes place in Hoboken to put people in harm's way? And that's government's responsibility, whether it's local or national, to make sure that we don't fund projects that put people in harm's way. And this is an example of where a local problem becomes a potential national issue.
Councilwoman, for the viewers that aren't really, you know, familiar with Hoboken politics or sort of everything that went into this, when did this project initially begin? I mean, obviously, you're explaining a plethora of concerns here that are very legitimate, but ultimately, why did this get off the ground?
Well, this was actually part of a plan, what's called a planned unit development, which is in our northern end of town, that included a lot of what's called the shipyard project. The shipyard project has been under construction for, you know, numerous years, I think up to 10 years, and this was part of the original agreement. The problem is like a lot of things, is there's differences, you know, administrations change, documents aren't as well maintained or filed away as they might need to be, or that there's just not enough detail in the information to say specifically what was there. And that's what the challenge is. You know, the developer says that there was not a park plan, or a guarantee that it would be developed there, and the residents and our memory is that there was.
Okay. Councilwoman, we appreciate a few minutes here on Hudson County TV, and again, the clarity you've provided concerning the Monarch Project. Thank you so much for your time.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. I'm Fernando Uribe, coming to you from Hoboken. And as always, stay classy, everyone.